Assalamu alaikum dear students, how are you all? I hope you all are doing good at your homes. Just be safe. It's been quite a long time since our last lecture together. I could not take your lectures due to some inevitable circumstances, but from now on we'll continue with from where we left. We will discuss multiple topics of head and neck today. The first topic that I am going to discuss is the musculature and nerve supply of face. After doing this, we will have lectures on larynx, pharynx, mouth, orbit, triangles of the neck, deep dissection of the neck. So there is quite a long lineup of topics which you will be doing with me. So continuing with today's topic, that is the muscles and nerve supply of the face. This is a very important topic, student, because both in regards of written and as well as viva. Quite often you people will be asked about the muscles of the face, you will be asked about the nerve supply of the face, both sensory and motor. So just learn this topic by heart, and so let's start. In today's class we will focus on the facial muscles, their names, their actions, then the sensory and motor supply of the face, and then finally the clinical correlates. So regarding facial muscles, the facial muscles, they are also known as the muscles of facial expressions, because the peculiar thing about the insertion and origin of these muscles is that they get their origin from certain bone of the face, but they are always inserted in the skin, within the skin of the face. This is because when these muscles they contract, they pull the skin with them, in turn moving the skin and changing the expressions of the face to convey various moods. So just remember that the insertion of the facial muscles is always in the skin of the face. Okay. For our ease of learning, we divide the facial muscles in various groups according to the region. These are the orbital group, around the orbit, around the eye; nasal group, related to nose; oral group, related to the mouth; then the auricular group, related to the ear; and last is the fronto-occipital group, related to the scalp primarily. So first one is the orbital group. The orbital group contains two major muscles, the orbicularis oculi, shown with the yellow star. This whole muscle is the orbicularis oculi, orbicularis oculi. These are the muscles of the eye. And then we have corrugator supercilii. This is another small muscle you can see here, that is labeled with the red star. Corrugator supercilii basically lies on the region of the superciliary arch. You remember the superciliary arch? It is a prominent bony marking on the frontal bone just above the orbit. We discussed it previously when I told you about the bones of the head of the skull. So corrugator supercilii is another muscle. You can see the direction of the muscle fibers. It is a very small muscle and it is lying just over the superciliary arches. So just by looking at the direction of the fibers, we can predict the function as well. See over here, this first expression, you can see the eye is closed. This closure of the eye is brought about by the orbicularis oculi muscle. Orbicularis oculi muscle has got two parts. The fibers, the inner fibers, which are located in the region of the eyelids, these are the palpebral part. Palpebra refers to the eyelid, and the outer fibers, they are named as the orbital fibers because they are lining the orbital margin. Okay, so when we just close the eye normally, this action is brought up by the palpebral part of the orbicularis oculi muscle, and when we forcefully close the eyes, then the orbital part, the outer part, is also activated. Okay, so the orbital part of the orbicularis oculi muscle, it brings about forceful contraction of the eyes, forceful closure of the eyes, and normal closure of the eyes is done by the palpebral part of the orbicularis oculi muscle. Now look at the second picture. What do you notice here? There are longitudinal furrows, longitudinal serrations on the forehead. These longitudinal furrows, they are brought up by the corrugator supercilii muscle. This is the region of the superciliary arch. When these muscles contract from both sides, they bring about this expression. So vertical ridges on the, just beneath, between the two eyebrows, vertical ridges on the forehead, this action is done by the corrugator supercilii. This is somewhat frowning, you can say. Coming to the second group, this is the nasal group. It has got three muscles. The largest one is the nasalis, shown in yellow star. This whole muscle is nasalis. It has got two parts, transverse fibers and some longitudinal fibers on both sides. These longitudinal fibers are known as the alar fibers of the nasalis. Ala refers to this part. This part is known as the ala of the nose. The widest, broadest part of the nose is known as the ala. So the longitudinal fibers, slightly oblique fibers, they are the alar fibers of nasalis, and rest of the transverse ones are the transverse fibers of nasalis. This red star is on another muscle. This is known as procerus. Procerus muscle is having longitudinally directed fibers, and it is a very small muscle. Just remember the name. This purple arrow is showing another small muscle, deep muscle, just beneath the nose. And you will notice that most of the facial muscles, they have their function hidden in their names. Just read the third name, depressor septi nasi. It is the name of the muscle, but it is also showing the function of this muscle. Depressor means to depress. Septi refers to the nasal septum, and nasi is for nose. So this muscle is depressing this nasal septum. Okay, the fibers, they contract and they depress the septum of the nose. Got it? You can see in this first picture there are horizontal furrows on the bridge of the nose. Unlike the vertical furrows by the corrugator supercilii, these are horizontal furrows, and the alar part is also being contracted. This whole action is brought up by the nasalis and the procerus, both. Okay, nasalis and procerus, they both bring about this expression. What is this expression? When you don't like something, when you disagree with something, this is the expression. Disgusted expression, not liking something. Okay, and in this picture you can see the nostrils, they are flared up, they are dilated. This section is by the alar fibers of the nasalis muscle. Okay, coming to the third group, that is the largest group, but please don't get scared by this long list of muscles. I'll tell you how to memorize this. It will be very easy, believe me. This is the oral group. First muscle is orbicularis oris. We did orbicularis oculi, which was surrounding the eye. Same is this muscle, orbicularis oris. Oris means mouth. This muscle surrounds the mouth. You can see this ring of muscle around the mouth. This is orbicularis oris. Oris is because of the mouth. Oris means mouth. Okay, so this whole muscle, circular muscle fibers, these are known as the orbicularis oris muscle. Now, coming to the rest of the list, we will memorize the names in pairs. Okay, and like what I told you earlier, the action is hidden in the names, so just stay focused. You will grasp the concept very easily. The second and third one, we will do it together. Depressor anguli oris, levator anguli oris. Depressor means to depress. Anguli oris, angle of the mouth. Levator means to elevate. Levator anguli oris, elevator of the angle of the mouth. Both are opposites. Just look at the picture. This is the angle of the mouth. माउथ का एंगल है, ठीक है, फेस का नहीं है. फेस का एंगल होता है ये वाला, जो चिन और ये मैंडिबल का बेसिकली. जो माउथ का एंगल है वो ये होता है जहाँ पे दोनों अपर एंड लोअर लिप्स मिलते हैं, ठीक है, एट द कॉर्नर्स. तो कॉर्नर ऑफ द माउथ या एंगल ऑफ द माउथ इज़ वन एंड द सेम थिंग. So from the angle of the mouth we can see these fibers, they are going downwards. This is the, when they will contract they will pull the angle of the mouth downwards. This muscle is depressor anguli oris. Okay, we have got a muscle that is opposing this action. Now look at this muscle, it's rather somewhat a little bit deep. This muscle, it is originating from the angle of the mouth and the fibers, they are running upwards and getting inserted into the maxilla. These are the levator anguli oris. They elevate the angle of the mouth. Okay, so these two muscles we will remember their names and their functions correspondingly. Depressor and levator anguli oris. Okay, now again a depressor and levator. Depressor labii inferioris, levator labii superioris. Labii means lips, inferioris lower lip, superioris upper lip. The lower lip is always depressed, the upper lip is always elevated. Okay, just look here, you can see this pair of muscle. This is depressor labii inferioris, lower lip का depressor है ये, ठीक है. और you can see this muscle, broad muscle, this is levator labii superioris, upper lip का elevator. When this will contract it will elevate the upper lip, when this will contract it will depress the lower lip. Now focus here, you can see a small, a thin sling of muscle fiber. Some muscle fibers, they escape this levator labii superioris and they merge with the alar fibers of nasalis. Some of the fibers of levator labii superioris, they merge with the fibers, alar fibers of nasalis. You can see these muscles, ये वाला, ठीक है. इस मसल को हम इंडिविजुअल नेम देते हैं जो इसके कॉम्बिनेशन में आएगा. क्या होगा? लेवेटर labii superioris, aliquae nasae, aliquae from the ali, ala of nose and nasae from nose. So इसके लंबे नाम से आपने घबराना नहीं है, levator labii superioris, क्योंकि इसी में से निकल रहा है. aliquae nasae because it is merging with the alar fibers of the nasalis. Okay, so यहीं से हम एक बात को जो है वो कंक्लूड कर सकते हैं कि nasalis और levator labii superioris, they both act together. Okay, whenever the upper lip is elevated, the ala of the nose, they are also flared up. Okay, then the next pair is zygomaticus major and zygomaticus minor. Zygomaticus is from the zygomatic bone, that is the cheekbone, and minor and major because of the size of the muscle fibers. This is zygomaticus minor and this is zygomaticus major. Okay, so these muscles, they also act together with the levator labii superioris. Okay, now we are left with three remaining muscles: risorius, mentalis, buccinator. RMB, BMR, किसी भी तरह आप इसका निमोनिक बना सकते हो. BMR जैसे बेजल मेटाबॉलिक रेट होता है, इसी तरह BMR बक्सिनेटर, मेंटालिस एंड रिजोरियस. ठीक है, तो बक्सिनेटर जो है, इट इज़ द मसल ऑफ द चीक्स, ये वाला. इट इज़ समवॉट डीपर एंड इट इज़ पियर्स बाय द पेरोटिड डक्ट. पेरोटिड ग्लैंड होता है जस्ट इन फ्रंट ऑफ द ईयर, जो सिलाइवरी ग्लैंड है उसकी जो डक्ट है, इट पियर्सेस द बक्सिनेटर मसल. बक्सिनेटर इज़ फॉर द चीक. ओके, then we had risorius, BMR. M is for mentalis. Mental refers to the chin, muscle of the chin, this small muscle on both sides, paired muscle है. mentalis. Okay, and BMR, R is for risorius. This is transverse muscle जो कि बिल्कुल एंगल ऑफ द माउथ से स्टार्ट होता है एंड इट गेट्स इंसर्टेड लैटरली इनटू द स्किन ऑफ द cheek. Risorius is transverse muscle. Okay, this is all about the oral group of muscles. Now we will see a very interesting slide related to the expressions that these oral muscles they bring. First is the action of the orbicularis oris muscle. It is contracting the opening of the mouth, as in pursing of the lips or lip pout. Okay, in kissing or pursing of the lips, this is due to the orbicularis oris muscle. Second, you can see the angle of the mouth is depressed, as in sad expression. This depression of the angle of the mouth is bring out by the muscle. Which muscle? Depressor anguli oris. Simple. Now look here, what is happening over here? Three things are happening. Ala of the nose are dilated, upper lip is elevated, and lower lip is depressed. So three muscles: levator labii superioris, levator labii superioris aliquinesi, and depressor labii inferioris. Got it? Levator and depressor of the lips along with the aliquinesi for the ala of the nose. Okay, angry expression है. Then this dilation of the nostrils aliquinesi की वजह से. ठीक हो गया? ये देखो अब ये क्या हो रहा है कि angle of the mouth along with the upper lip, it is elevated. This action is zygomaticus major and minor. Okay, major and minor. Very स्वीट स्माइल. ट्रांसवर्स मसल था एक जो एंगल ऑफ द माउथ से चीक तक जा रहा था, रिजोरियस. रिजोरियस इज द स्माइलिंग मसल. ओके, व्हाट इज हैपनिंग ओवर हियर? यू कैन सी फरोज और लाइंस ऑन द चिन हॉरिजॉन्टल. दिस इज मेंटालिस, थिंकिंग मसल. ठीक है, मेंटालिस. तो आप कुछ सोच रहे होते हो, दिस इज द एक्सप्रेशन. Now, muscle of the cheek, I told you buccinator, when it contracts, it blows the cheeks outwards, as in puffing of the air. Okay? So, this is all about the oral group. Last is the auricular and the occipitofrontalis group. Auricular group is very rudimentary in humans. This auricular group is divided into three smaller groups: anterior, superior, and posterior. I'll show you in the diagram. Look over here. You can see the red arrow, green arrow, blue arrow, and the red arrow. The green arrow is on the anterior group, blue is on the superior group, and red is on the posterior group. These anterior, superior, and posterior auricular muscles, they are surrounding the ear from anterior, superior, and posterior aspect. These are very rudimentary in humans. Have you ever noticed that some animals can very efficiently move their ear lobes and their hearing is far much more better than humans? This action is because their auricular muscles are very well developed, and in humans, except for a very few, we can't move our ear lobes. We can't move our ears externally. Okay? So these muscles are just rudimentary in humans. In this picture you can see yellow stars. These yellow stars, they are labeling another muscle which has two bellies, frontal and occipital, and together we name it as occipitofrontalis muscle. When the frontal belly contracts, it brings about horizontal ridges on the forehead. Okay, so this action is brought about by the frontal belly of the occipitofrontalis muscle. Okay, last but not the least, we have another muscle. Sometimes we include it in facial muscles, sometimes we include it in neck muscles, but because it brings about certain expressions on the face, we will include this muscle in the muscles of the face, and the name is platysma. Platysma is a very broad sheet of muscle It originates from the supracervical region of the neck or the cervical region of the neck, या आप कह सकते हो कि base of the neck से start होता है and it travels upwards towards the chin, towards the mandible, and it gets inserted into the mandible. Okay, when it contracts, it brings about contraction ridges on the neck, and along with it, it also depresses the mandible. This is somewhat the expression, startled expression or surprised expression. Okay, so this is the function of platysma. Okay, students, we are done with the facial muscles. You have to memorize the names of the muscles according to the group in which they are situated. The groups are orbital eyes के लिए, nasal nose के लिए, oral mouth के लिए, auricular ear के लिए, उसके बाद occipitofrontalis है और platysma है. ठीक है, ये सारे ग्रुप्स आपने मेमोराइज करने हैं, इनके नेम्स, and within the names the function is hidden, so you just have to focus on the names and the function of the facial muscles. That's it. Okay, now coming to the innervation of the face. Like any other part of the body, face has also got sensory and motor innervation. So first we will discuss the sensory innervation. The major nerve that provides the sensory innervation to the face is the trigeminal nerve, and you know that this nerve is the fifth cranial nerve. Trigeminal nerve, it arises from the trigeminal ganglion. If you remember neuro, so the trigeminal ganglion, it gives rise to the trigeminal nerve, and this trigeminal nerve, when it enters into the face, it is divided into three major divisions: ophthalmic, maxillary and mandibular. These names are given because of the region of the face where these branches travel. Now look at this picture. This is the trigeminal ganglion, and from this trigeminal ganglion are arising three major divisions of the trigeminal nerve. Now you can see it clearly. Wait a minute, let me. Okay, so the green color branches, they are showing the branches of the ophthalmic division. Ophthalmic division is very close to the eyes, region of the eyes, upper part of the nose, okay, and the forehead. The forehead, the eyes and the upper part of the nose, this all area is supplied by the ophthalmic division of the trigeminal nerve, and this is shown with the help of green color. I have labeled some branches of the ophthalmic division as well. I'll tell you later. Then the second part is the maxillary division. Maxillary division is in the region of the maxillary bone. This is shown with the orange color. The region of the maxilla, upper lip, ala of the nose, sides of the nose, this whole area is the maxillary division of the trigeminal nerve. Okay, and the last one that is shown by the yellow color, it is the mandibular division, and it covers the area of the rest of the cheek, the mandible, the lower lip, the tongue, okay, chin. This whole area is covered by the mandibular division of the trigeminal nerve. So if we talk about the sensory innervation of the face, we say that it is because of the trigeminal nerve, and the trigeminal nerve gives three branches on the face, sensory branches: ophthalmic, maxillary, mandibular. Now I have labeled some major branches of these three divisions. I'll just tell you the names. There is no need to do the courses of these supra branches, no need. Just remember the names and just remember that which division, which major division is giving off which branches. It is simple, not difficult. Once you remember the area of supply of the ophthalmic division, that is the forehead, frontal bone, the eyes, and the nose, you'll remember the names of the branches as well. As you can see, supraorbital, supratrochlear, these two. These are also related to the nerve supply of the scalp. Supraorbital, supratrochlear. Then we have two small anterior ethmoidal. You know, ethmoid bone is just over here, over the bridge of the nose. Okay, so anterior ethmoidal है, intratrochlear है नीचे, उसके बाद lacrimal है for the lacrimal gland of the eye. ओके, फिर है हमारे पास नेजोसिलरी फॉर द सिलरी गैंग्लियन. ओके, जो सिलरी मसल्स को सप्लाई करेगी. एंड देन वी हैव फ्रंटल नर्व. फ्रंटल नर्व जो कि फ्रंटल बोन के एरिया में सप्लाई करेगी. सो इफ़ यू कैन मेमोराइज द नेम्स, वेल एंड गुड. If you can't memorize the names of all the divisions, no problem, just memorize one or two or three major ones. Okay, at least remember the ophthalmic division and just remember that it is supplying the area of the forehead, the eyes and the nose. So eyes के लिए lacrimal है, nasociliary है, फिर forehead के लिए supraorbital है, supratrochlear है, anterior ethmoidal है. Okay, coming to the second division, that is the maxillary division. You can see this orange colored structure. This is the pterygopalatine ganglion. ठीक है, pterygoid plates होती हैं sphenoid bone की और palatine bone होती है यहाँ palate की. उस लोकेशन में ये ganglion present है. It is a parasympathetic ganglion and its function is related to the secretion of the parotid gland and many other glands. ठीक है, secretion of the glands से इसका ताल्लुक है. तो basically इसको इस pterygopalatine ganglion की तरफ जो branches जा रही हैं, pterygopalatine nerves, these are derived from the maxillary division. Then we have infraorbital nerve. On ophthalmic division we had supraorbital, in maxillary division we have infraorbital. Then we have zygomatic branch. zygomatic bone इधर present है maxilla के साथ, तो zygomatic branch हो गई. फिर यहाँ पे कुछ branches जो हैं वो nose की तरफ भी जा रही हैं. So just remember these three names: infraorbital, zygomatic and pterygopalatine nerves. These are the branches of the maxillary division. Third one is the mandibular. Mandibular division gives off buccal branch to the cheeks, lingual nerve to the tongue. Then we have inferior alveolar nerve to the lower jaw, and the nerve to the mylohyoid muscle. Mylohyoid muscle is a muscle of the chin, of the upper part of the neck. So just remember the names. Then we have mental nerve for the chin. So these branches which are shown with the yellow color, they are coming from the mandibular division of the trigeminal nerve. If you can memorize the names, it is well and good, but if you can't, at least remember one or two names. Okay, don't focus on the courses of these branches. Just remember the main thing: trigeminal ganglion से arise हो रही ophthalmic, maxillary and mandibular divisions. Okay, and just remember the areas of their supply. Ophthalmic is supplying the forehead, the eyes, the nose. The maxillary is supplying the area of the cheek, zygomatic bone, sides of the nose and the upper lip. And mandibular division is supplying the rest of the cheeks along with the angle of the face, the mandibular region, the tongue, the lower lip. Okay. Now coming to the motor innervation of the face, it is done by the facial nerve. Facial nerve is the seventh cranial nerve and it gives off 5 branches on the face. First, just remember that a facial nerve, it arises from within the brain, from within the skull, and it arises from the inside of the skull towards the outer aspect, and when it emerges out of the skull, it enters into this parotid gland. Within the parotid gland, the facial nerve divides into 5 major branches, and we name these branches according to the areas, starting from the upper side: temporal, zygomatic, buccal, marginal mandibular and cervical. Now look at the picture. This orange one is the temporal. It is going upwards towards the temporal bone, towards the temple and towards the eyes. Okay, so you can see the major supply of the frontal belly and the orbicularis oculi muscles. They are innervated by this temporal branch of the facial nerve. Then we have yellow colored branch, that is zygomatic. It is in the area of the zygomatic bone, supplying the corresponding muscles. Then buccal, shown with the green branch, muscle of the cheeks, and the area of the cheeks, it gets supplied by the buccal branch. Then we have marginal mandibular, shown with the blue color. Lower end of the cheeks, the lower lips, the chin, all this is supplied by the marginal mandibular. And last is the cervical, that is going in the neck region, so the name cervical, and it is supplying the platysma muscle. So these are the 5 branches: temporal, zygomatic, buccal, marginal, mandibular and cervical. Clear? Here is another depiction. By putting your hand on the side of the face, you can mark these branches. Orange is the temporal, then the zygomatic yellow one, green one is the buccal, blue one is the marginal mandibular, and purple one is the cervical. Clear? So just remember the names and the area of their supply. Now we will discuss the clinical correlates of these nerves which we have studied. 2 major diseases you have to memorize. These are very important UQs, very important. First is the paralysis of facial muscles. We also call it Bell's palsy. If we talk about the paralysis of facial muscles, definitely facial nerve is going to be affected. So injury to the facial nerve, that is the cranial nerve 7 or its branches, is known as the Bell's palsy or the paralysis of the facial muscles. What happens? The affected area of the face, it sags down and facial expressions are distorted, even lost. Okay. If orbicularis oculi is affected, the inferior eyelids, they get everted. We can't close the eyes. When we can't close the eyes, the lacrimal fluid is not spread over the cornea, and when we can't close it, adequate lubrication nahi hogi, and it will cause dry eye, ultimately ulceration. When the sphincters or dilators of the mouth are affected, as in orbicularis oris muscles or the levator or depressors of the angle of the mouth or the lips, all these muscles, when they are affected, they displace the mouth. Okay, there is drooping of the corners of the mouth, because this drooping is produced by the contraction of unopposed contralateral facial muscles. For example, if left side is affected and right side muscles are normal, the action of the right side muscles will be unopposed, and this will pull the defected side towards the normal side. Okay, so there is continuous dribbling of saliva and food from the side of the mouth, and the normal creases of the face, they are lost. Let me show you a picture. This is all about the same thing which I was telling you. Weakened lip muscles affect speech as well. Obviously, when the muscles of the lips, the anguli oris and the labii superioris and inferioris, when they are affected, the speech is also affected, and certain syllables which are produced by the movement of the lips, like b, m, p or v, these sounds b, m, p, v, when we pronounce these syllables, both our lips are moving, these sounds are impaired. Then the affected persons, they can't blow or whistle a wind instrument because buccinator is affected, and they frequently dab their eyes and mouth with a handkerchief because there is continuous dribbling of fluid like tears and saliva, and continuous dribbling of this fluid also cause localized skin irritation. You can see over here, the right side is affected. You can see the angle of the mouth is depressed due to the action of the sagging muscles and the gravity. The crease of the mouth, of the angle of the nose, it is disappeared. there is no furrowing. The frontalis, if frontalis is affected, no furrowing will be present on the forehead. So we can easily differentiate between the affected and the normal side. Okay, Bell's palsy is the paralysis of facial nerve, and once there is paralysis of the muscle and the nerve branch is affected, it can't be reversed unless and if there is a minor problem because of some growing tumor. The nerve is being pressed. If we remove the tumor, the nerve will heal back. But if the nerve is traversed, it is cut down, then there is no backing. Okay, then the result will be permanent damage. Now, trigeminal neuralgia. This is sensory deficit. When the trigeminal nerve is affected in some way, there is a condition, very important condition, trigeminal neuralgia. I forgot to tell you one interesting factor about Bell's palsy. We have a very famous celebrity who suffered from Bell's palsy, and she is none other but Angelina Jolie. Angelina Jolie suffered from Bell's palsy. You know this? It's an interesting point to remember. Coming back to the trigeminal neuralgia. Neuralgia means pain. Trigeminal neuralgia means pain in the distribution of the trigeminal nerve, basically. Trigeminal neuralgia is also known as tic douloureux. It is a sensory disorder of the sensory root of cranial nerve 5, और ये मोस्टली जो है वो मिडिल एज या एल्डरली में होता है, ठीक है. It is characterized by sudden attacks of excruciating lightning-like jabs of facial pain. Very extreme excruciating pain is felt over the affected side. A paroxysm means sudden sharp pain, can last for 15 minutes or more. The pain may be so intense that the person winces, hence the common term tic, twitching pains, ठीक है. In some cases, the pain may be so severe that psychological changes occur, leading to depression and even suicidal attempts. This pain, you can imagine, if it is leading to suicidal attempt and depression, this pain is extreme excruciating. Okay, and it occurs along the distribution of the three main divisions of thalamic, maxillary and mandibular. These three divisions of the trigeminal nerve, along the course of these three divisions, wherever the nerve is affected, pain will be felt. Okay, so if the pain is felt over the forehead or eye region, we can easily say that there is some problem in the ophthalmic division, and likewise. Okay, so how will we treat this trigeminal neuralgia? Because it's not there is some reason, some defect in any of the branches. So what will we do to alleviate the pain? Both medical and surgical treatments are available. In cases involving the cranial nerve 5-2, this means cranial nerve 5 trigeminal nerve की जो second division है, that is the maxillary division. तो हम क्या करते हैं कि we block the infraorbital nerve at the infraorbital foramen by using alcohol यूज़ करके हम कोशिश करते हैं कि हम infraorbital nerve को block कर दें. When this nerve will be blocked, there will be no transmission of pain from that area. तो pain जो है वो temporarily जो है वो relieve हो सकती है, ठीक है. या फिर हम क्या करते हैं कि infraorbital foramen में हम उन branches को, जो affected branches हैं, उनको cut कर देंगे by using simple surgical procedures, ठीक है. Further options क्या हैं surgical treatment में? सर्जिकल ट्रीटमेंट में फर्दर ऑप्शंस हैं हमारे पास. रेडियो फ्रीक्वेंसी सेलेक्टिव एब्लेशन. What we do in this part, that we use a needle electrode and we burn selected parts of trigeminal ganglion, thus blocking the pain pathway. या फिर हम क्या करते हैं, दो और प्रोसीजर्स हैं. वन इज़ राइजोटमी, वन इज़ ट्रैक्टोटॉमी. ट्रैक्ट की टॉमी, ट्रैक को कट करेंगे, ट्रैक्टोटॉमी. राइजोटमी क्या है? राइजोटमी है हम पार्शली कट करते हैं सेंसरी रूट फाइबर्स को ट्राइजेमिनल नर्व के इन द रीजन ऑफ द गैंग्लियन एंड द ब्रेन स्टेम. जस्ट रिमेंबर, अगर हम विद इन द ब्रेन स्टेम इनको कट करेंगे तो देयर इज़ नो रीजनरेशन, बट एक्सॉन की लेंथ में कट करेंगे तो देयर इज़ अ स्लाइट चांस ऑफ रीजनरेशन। और या फिर हम क्या करते हैं कि स्पाइनल कॉर्ड में जो ट्रैक जा रहा है, स्पाइनल ट्रैक ऑफ द ट्राइजेमिनल नर्व, वहाँ पे कट करेंगे तो ये ट्रैक्टोटॉमी कहलाएगा। ठीक है, सो जस्ट रिमेंबर द नेम्स, रेडियो फ्रिक्वेंसी सेलेक्टिव एब्लेशन है, राइजोटमी है, ट्रैक्टोटॉमी है। ठीक है, नो फर्दर डिटेल नीडेड। There are some procedures in which we do nerve blocks. Nerve blocks क्या होती हैं कि whenever we want to perform surgery over some area of the face, तो हम वहाँ पर उन जो भी nerves वहाँ पर present हैं उनको locally हम anesthetize करेंगे ताकि हम surgical procedure आराम से carry out कर सकें। In simple words, तो 3 major nerve blocks आपने याद रखने हैं नाम, infraorbital, buccal, mental। इंफ्राऑर्बिटल नर्व ब्लॉक होता है, बकल नर्व ब्लॉक होता है और मेंटल नर्व ब्लॉक होता है। इंफ्राऑर्बिटल नर्व ब्लॉक जो है इट इज़ रिलेटेड द मैक्सिलरी डिवीजन ऑफ द ट्राइजेमिनल नर्व, बकल और मेंटल जो है इट इज़ रिलेटेड टू द मैंडिबुलर डिवीजन ऑफ द ट्राइजेमिनल नर्व। आई हैव पुट अप सम पिक्चर्स। दिस प्रोसीजर इज शोइंग द इंफ्राऑर्बिटल नर्व ब्लॉक। वी जस्ट inoculate the region of the infraorbital nerve with the anesthetizing agent. Syringe is this direction, is placed in this direction, and the infraorbital nerve is blocked. Then this is the mental nerve block. mental nerve block में क्या है कि जो mental nerve है, the branch of the mandibular division of trigeminal nerve, it is being anesthetized by using the syringe or either at this place or from within the mouth downwards. Okay, then this nerve is the buccal nerve, and within the mouth we inoculate this region like this. This is the buccal nerve block. So nerve blocks are done to facilitate the surgical procedure that is being carried out because of any defect in certain areas. We just block the major nerve of that area so that we can easily carry out the surgery. So this was all about the today's lecture, students. We discussed the facial muscles, we discussed the major innervation of the face. जिस तरह से मैंने आपको पॉइंट्स बताए हैं, जितनी डिटेल बताई है, बिल्कुल उसी पे फोकस रहना है आपने। जो ब्रांचेस की भी सब ब्रांचेस होती हैं उनकी डिटेल्स, उनके कोर्स, उनकी बहुत ज़्यादा डिटेल हमने नहीं करनी होती, जस्ट मेमोराइज द नेम्स। ओके, आई होप इट्स क्लियर नाउ। आई मीट यू in the next lecture after 2 days or 3 days. I'll give you this time to read this chapter, to memorize it, and I will enhance this point. I will make this point forcefully on you that please follow Keith Hilmore. Okay, don't do it from BD Chaurasia. If you are doing it from BD Chaurasia, at least don't do it without consulting KLM. Okay, first read it by heart from KLM, then you can also compare it with BD Chaurasia if you want to, but KLM is must. Okay, so the lecture was also based from the KLM and from the student Grace anatomy. So just focus on these points, learn it by heart, and I'll mark your attendance not on the WhatsApp group. You'll mark your attendance on the YouTube channel. When you see this presentation, beneath the presentation in the comment section, you will give your attendance. Okay, so make sure everyone watches it and learn it by heart, and after 2 days we'll have our next topic. Okay, see you then, take care, Allah Hafiz.